Hey, check one, two. Hey, check one, two. All right. See how's that? Okay. Check, check, check. Sounds funny, huh? Sorry. Check, check, check. 1, 2. There it is. Whew. Apologize. Handful of technical difficulties today. All right, I think we're good now to go. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Today we're going to be using a strap. So I hope you have something, a strap or a belt you can loop or whatever. This is going to be useful we're getting back into twists, and we're going to be doing an interesting concept of being able to twist deep enough in order to get into binds. Okay, so what I want to say, in the beginning here is that the patterns that we're trying to reset in our body, I'd like us to recognize that they don't happen in an instant. There's no change doesn't happen in an instant. Yes, the experience of change we can change our mindset in an instant, but usually what it takes is consistent action, consistent change. And over the course of time, then little changes add up to a big thing. And it looks like on the outside that it happened in an instant. Now we can change our perspective in an instant, but changing a thought pattern, an emotional pattern, a physical pattern, these things take time. We can change our mindset in an instant, but changing the actions that follow that takes time. We can make a decision in an instant, but consistent decisions take time, right? Or pattern decisions. So why I want to bring this up is we have these three energies within us, and they are the energies of all things prakriti. Excuse my tongue twisting right now. Prakriti is all things matter, all things of this physical manifest world, while Purusha is all things that is the witnessing consciousness that is stillness itself. So in Purusha, there is the nothingness, the emptiness, while Prakriti has this fullness of manifestation, and it has movement, momentum, it changes, it transforms. And so all things in this Prakritic world that we live in as human beings, we are part of this matter, Prakriti, matter. And as a part of that, we have the reason Prakriti has these three energies called the gunas. The gunas are the forces of nature, one way of saying it. And the forces of nature have these three aspects, and it's Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva. Rajas is what we need. It's the energy that we need to step onto our yoga mat and start moving. Okay, so Raja Yoga is often a name for Hatha Yoga, or the stuff that we do on our physical practice, asana. Raja Yoga is about activating that energy inside of us that is willfully going to take action. Okay, so Raja Yoga is the desire inside of us to make big changes. Now, when we talk about transcendence or the observer or the witness or the part of us that is willing to transform on a spiritual level, this is more sattva. Gets a little confusing. But sattvic energy is that the one who's willing to self-reflect, the one that is willing to sit in contemplation and acknowledge the patterns within. Okay, it's the witnessing energy. That's the sattvic nature within us. Okay, so we all have that within us, that ability to witness. But the rajas is what gets us. Hello, not sure. We're getting cut off again. Full of all the fun stuff today. Okay, hopefully we're back. I apologize. Okay, my apologies. I'm not sure what's happening today, but we're losing all things here going on with the technical stuff. So hopefully that's the last time we have a technical problem today. But what I was saying is we've got these three gunas, which are the forces of nature. We have this rajas, tamas, and sattva. Sattva is considered to be kind of like that balanced state, that place within us that is self-reflective, transformative, let's say transcendent, the ability to be more observant, intellectualize things in a way that is that moves us towards spiritual energy. Okay, that the observer, the listener, the witness, the energy that is more still in nature, in that it is not necessarily it's a little more unchanging, but not the same as tamas, which is the what's the correct word for this? Tamas is more of that energy, that inertia is the word, or the let's put it this way, the unwillingness to change. This is tamas. And why I wanted to bring this up today is because our physical body tends to have a lot of tamas, especially as we age, as we get older. It's unwilling to change. And a lot of what allows us for that transformation or that change in our physical body, which is why a lot of you signed up, right, is that rajas energy, that willingness to step into action on our yoga mat and to move and to drum up that fire, that raja energy, that intensity in order to take action to make changes. Okay, so when we talk about changing or growing our patterns, we're talking about the required energy is raja. So that's why it's called Raja Yoga quite often. And we have to recognize that the physical body, in kids it might be different, but as we get older, adults, I imagine most of us are adults that are practicing this, we tend to have more of a tamasic body. The body starts to settle. And we even know that certain areas of our fascia will start to harden and make it harder for us to actually move. So we bring movement in, we invite this intensity. Now it does take this willful energy inside of us to step onto our yoga mat. And then it does take that willful energy, that ability to, I'm going to use this word in a positive light, manipulate ourselves into change. And I mean that positively, because quite often we lack that initiative to step into the challenges, especially physically, when it's required. That's why we have coaches, why we have teachers. It's why the coaching industry or the physical trainer industry, the yoga industry is so big, because so many human beings lack that motivation to take action in their physical body. It's why, one of the reasons at least, you signed up, because you wanted to keep your body, or you wanted to expand your potential in your physical body so that you can start to move it and repattern it. And it takes effort. Okay, so this rajas energy, this more intense energy, we can equate it maybe with that effortful energy, that I don't want to use this word, but I have to sort of say it and soften it, but more forceful energy, the willingness to activate our muscles. This is rajas. Now, we need this in our physical practice, but the question is how much? We don't want to do it so much that the force becomes injurious. We don't want to do it not enough that we don't actually change anything, right? We want to do it just enough that we start to transform our patterns, create new patterns, the ones that serve us more. And the reason why, according to the yogic system, is that when we do that, we create the ability to sit more comfortably. And the ability to sit more comfortably allows us to do the more introspective work to become more sattvic, the work that is more self-reflective. Now, today is not a meditation day, but I do want to just say that because we do meditations at the end of our Wednesday classes. And part of this yoga practice is to become more sattvic, more self-reflective, to be able to transcend more of that mental activity that bogs us down so often. A lot of times that mental activity stops us from getting onto our physical body and putting that activity into the body. One of my teachers used to say, the body tends to be tamasic, the mind is rajasic, lots of energy up here in the mind. And we need to switch that a little bit. Is like to calm the mind, we bring the rajas energy into the physical body, and then the mind, the thoughts will start to soften. And then somewhere we can find that sattvic state of I want to use the word stillness. I'm not sure if that scripturally is correct, but we become more in that state of equanimity, I think is the appropriate word. All right, so let's get into our yoga practice today. You've got your strap. We will start. Let's just first actually take some wrist circles. I know most of you know the next immersion coming up at if you're watching this live, the December 2020 immersion. I'm going to start saying 2020 because 2021 is coming up, and I'll be changing the names of the immersions to be 2021. So the December 2020 immersion is all about hips, heart, and handstand, predominantly handstand. And so a little bit movements of your wrist, please. You can do little stretches here, which we're not doing today. We're not doing handstand today, but I'm just doing some wrist movements. So I was thinking of handstand. We'll be doing 12 classes, each one with some element of handstand. So you can pull your fist back like this. You can do this. These are all actually wrist exercises we used to do in Aikido. I used to take martial art. Okay, and just bringing synovial fluid in there. So what I was saying is we'll be doing 12 classes, and each one will introduce some element of handstand techniques so that we can develop consistency and new patterns for the upper body strength and core strength in order to learn how to propriocept. It's a big word. Proprioception is something that there's so much scientific data that backs this understanding that increased proprioception, it's just logical, is what allows us to continue to live our life in this physical body for a longer period of time with health. It's required that we understand where our body is in space in order to keep walking, to keep moving. That's just natural. So we want to increase our proprioception, our ability to know where our body is in space. And one of the ways of doing that is flipping things upside down. So that's why down dog is super helpful. Handstands, headstands, arm balances tend to be good. When we flip things upside down, we have to reverse the musculature and how it pulls and how it acts. And that's why handstand is kind of hard, because you have to actually retrain your muscles to pull the opposite direction than they normally would pull. All right, so without further ado, let's get into downward facing dog. A little movement here. We want to have a balance of, one of the qualities of tamas is heaviness. And heaviness can be a negative thing if everything is heavy, or it could be a really positive thing if things are feeling light, right? And if things are feeling too light, then heaviness can be welcomed, especially in the fall as we're moving towards more lightness in the air. Heaviness can be welcomed. It feels grounding. Now, in our yoga postures, we have to find this balance between grounding, heaviness, and a lightness that allows us to be able to move and change. Come forward to plank pose, grip your fingers into the ground. Pause here, take a breath. Exhale, bend the knees, down dog. Straighten the legs. Inhale, lift the heels up, tuck the tail, round the back into plank, roll forward. Bend the knees, lift the tail, down dog. Straighten the legs as you go back. Again, inhale, heels up, scoop the tail, round the back, roll into plank. Bend the knees, hips up, down dog to straighten the legs. One more time. Inhale, round the back by lifting the heels, rolling forward. Bend the knees, hips up, down dog. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Step right foot forward as you exhale. Up on the fingertips, we take a breath. I want the appropriate amount of rooting down and grounding for stability. Heaviness in a way that feels safe, right? But enough in the opposite direction, enough lightness and freedom, enough ability to move that allows us the expansion. Expansion is Rajas. Okay, so pull your feet toward each other. Press your right heel down and turn your belly to the right. Take your right hand on your thigh. Get strong enough in your legs, stable enough that you can turn your belly to the right more. Your upper body can be more free. Take your right arm up and pull your right shoulder blade. We've done this before a lot, right? This immersion. Pull your right shoulder blade back before you take your right hand to the sky. Full breath in. Full breath out. Full breath in. And release hands to the ground. Step to plank. Chaturanga. Come to your fingertips out to the sides. Softness. Ground through your pelvis. Let your feet widen a little bit. Inhale, lift the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, soften the heart between the shoulder blades. Shoulders back. Pull the heart forward and up. Exhale, release. Inhale to all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take the left leg to the sky. Exhale, step forward. Come to fingertips. Okay, so we want to invite that Rajas energy, that bit of intensity, I want to say, it gets us to move. It gets us on our mat and to take action, okay? So I consider muscle activation really a part of that Rajas energy, okay? So as you pull your feet toward each other and press down into your heel, yes, it might be grounding, so that could be considered more of a tamas energy, but the activation inside of your muscles, we call that Rajas, okay? So Raja Yoga. Now, as you press through your left heel, begin to turn your belly. Remember, the body doesn't necessarily want to change. We've built patterns within it. So it takes a certain amount of effort, a certain amount of action in order for transformation to happen. So we just invite that bit of, I want to say actually passion is a good word. And the desire to change is a big Rajas word. Desire and passion. These are good Rajas energies. So we want to take that desire and passion for health in our body and take it into our core by turning the belly, and then use that energy, that passion and that desire to pull your shoulder back. We all want to change. So we have to just put that into action. Take the left hand to the sky. We want change for the good, right? We want to change to transform our physical body to feel better on a daily basis. Especially as adults, we know the value of keeping our body feeling good, which is more than likely why you signed up for something called spinal reset, right? It's like you want to feel good in your body. And we're going to take that want, that desire, and move it into action in our physical form. It's not enough to just purchase something or to even step on the mat. It's a good start. But then we have to put it into our physical actions in our body. Okay, release the hand. Step back to down dog. Forward to plank pose, lift the heels up, round. Exhale, Chaturanga. Slide the hands wide, fingertips. Inhale, lift the chest a little bit. The feet go wide, soften the chest down. Now press your pubic bone into the ground a little bit as you pull your heart forward and up. Forward, forward, forward. Press your back of your chest forward and then release. Inhale to all fours. Exhale into downward facing dog. Let's take a full breath in. And a full breath out. All right, walk the feet to the front of the yoga mat. Soften, relax down. Let's grab your strap nearby. And let's actually come to stand for a moment. I forgot to light my candle. Oh well. I'm going to take the strap shoulder width. I can loop it. Okay. And just loop your hands into the strap behind you. Just seeing if I have... Oh, I do have some fire. My sacred candle over here. Okay, with the hands inside the strap looped. First thing I'd like you to do is put some Rajas energy into your fingers, okay? So that there's some full energy all the way through the arms, and bend your elbows. It's gonna be your triceps that do that. And then let your shoulders rise up as you do that, okay? Now pull the strap firmly apart. As you pull the strap apart, your fingers are active, reach the hands back. Reminder, the body's going to tend towards that tamasic energy, that, let's say, that more unwillingness or unchangeable kind of thing, that more steadfast. It's going to be more stuck, okay? And we want to move it out of that stuckness, out of the mud. It's a good little, I would say that's a really good visualization that the body tends to be tamasic in the mud, that kind of in that stuck quicksand feel, but we can pull it out of the mud with that Rajas energy. We can really climb our way out with the effort. Okay, and then release the arms. So think of all these actions, anything I give you as really like stoking that fire within that Rajas energy to really take action and to make a change. Again, it's not enough to even, stepping on the mat takes Rajas energy, but then continuing to put the effort forth, that's the Raja yoga, okay? Okay, now let's try again. Take your hands, pull the strap apart, squeeze your shoulders up and back, and then reach the hands back behind you. Now, knowing when to put the effort in and when to soften and surrender and allow things to be as they are. Now, that's a whole nother conversation, and it's something that we need to cultivate. Okay, so bow forward now into Uttanasana with the arms. So sattva is like allowing things to be as they are, witnessing, surrendering a little bit. And we want to have that in our approach of our asana practice. So it's not all effort, all action, action, action. We're not here to burn out, but we are here to make changes. So we want to be observant. Make sure that if we feel anything that's not right, that we back off, that we don't just act for the sake of act, but we say for the action is for intention. Hands to the hips and rise all the way up. Again, we're having a little conversation about the gunas, rajas, tamas, and sattva, these energies of nature that exist all the time. Sometimes the sattvic guna is the thing that people strive for, but we have to recognize in the more tantric philosophy that these three gunas are a part of life. They don't exist without one another. They only exist because of each other. So they're neither good nor bad. They each have their qualities, okay? Come to Tadasana. We'll get back to the strap work in a moment. Inhale to chair pose. We're getting right into it today. And take your right hand to the left thigh. Okay. Form your arch in your low back like we did last class. Okay, so hips go back and then lift the belly up. Deep within the core. So we want to have like a softness on the outer layer, but the effort is going to be right now in the deep abdominal muscles to pull the belly in and up and turn. Okay, take your left arm and pull your left shoulder blade back. Reach the left hand. Okay, your left knee, press it slightly out into your left fingertips. Just slightly. Okay, and then come back. Same thing on the other side as we warm up the midsection, warm up the back muscles, in deep core muscles. Okay, your left hand comes to your outer right knee. Maybe I'll just face the other way so you can see. Sit back. We allow the buttock muscles to be really firm, grounding, downward flow. That's the tamasic energy, that stabilizing from the hips down, okay? But from the top up, we rise, we uplift, lift the belly up, and we put that deep energy of the core, pull it back and turn it to the right. Now it's just fingertips because I don't want you really using your arm right now to turn, but using the deep core muscles, enter that Raja energy, that fiery energy, that powerful energy inside to manipulate, to change, to transform the inside, to turn it. Now take your right arm like you're pulling a bow, pull it back, right shoulder blade back, and then reach straight back behind you. Use the strength inside. Again, Rajas, it doesn't just stop with stepping on the mat it doesn't stop there. It starts there and then it continues to take us into the action. It continues to allow us to stay motivated enough to put our passion, our drive, and our desire to feel good, our desire to make shifts in our body. It puts it into motion, into action, and it doesn't stop by stepping on the mat. It starts there and it continues here. Okay, release. So when you feel that feeling of like, oh, it's enough, I don't want to do anymore, that we all inevitably feel, we remember, we get back to our intention of why we stepped into the spinal reset, why we practice yoga, and we use that passion and that drive to take more action, okay? That's the Rajas. Inhale, chair pose again, Utkatasana. Belly up. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Halfway lift on the inhale. Step the left foot back. With the breath. Inhale, pull your feet toward each other. Get lighter, get lighter, get lighter. Exhale, twist. Belly, torso, shoulders. Inhale, release. Strengthen the legs, okay? Exhale, belly, chest, shoulders. Again, inhale. Exhale. Cool. Inhale, release. Step to downward facing dog. Exhale. I'm going to be keeping my eye on the monitor over there. I don't trust the internet today. Inhale, forward to plank pose. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Fingertips, inhale. Lift the chest a little bit. Soften as you exhale. Press your pubic bone down and pull the heart, pull the rib cage forward, forward. Press your low back forward even towards the front of the mat. Lift the belly, lift the heart, and release. Inhale to all fours, hands and knees. Exhale in a down dog. Take the right leg to the sky on the inhale. And step right foot forward. High lunge today, inhale. And as you exhale, take the right hand back, left hand forward. Okay, so let's do a little bit of that archer action. On the inhale, you bring your palms together. Okay, on the exhale, pull your right arm back, reach it back, turn your belly. Okay, inhale. Exhale, pull, right arm back, belly back, turn the chest, the shoulders. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Push the left arm forward, pull the right arm back. Good, inhale, high lunge. And open up warrior two. Warming up the shoulders now. Inhale, internally rotate. And reach. Exhale, externally rotate. And then reach out wide. Inhale, internally rotate. Exhale, externally rotate. Inhale. Exhale. Reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. We'll step forward today, please. Halfway lift on the inhale. Get a little flower under my mat. Exhale and bow forward. I was like, what's this bump? Chair pose. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, bow. Inhale, half lift. Right foot back. High lunge, inhale. Oh, we didn't do that, sorry. Exhale, hands to the ground. My fault. I was thinking ahead for a moment. Inhale, pull your feet toward each other. Exhale, press your left heel down, turn the belly, chest. Ooh, nice cracks there. And shoulders. Inhale. Get strong in the legs, get light in the fingers. Exhale, belly, chest, shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, belly, chest, shoulders. Good. Inhale, hand to the ground. Step to down dog as we exhale. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Pull the chest forward and up. And release. Inhale to all fours. And exhale to downward facing dog. I'll take a moment here for self-reflection. Now, acknowledge this, that many of you practice with me. You tend towards a more, if you've been practicing for a while now, you probably tend towards the more tamasic energy because you prefer the stillness of holding a posture, whatever it might be. And then those of you that are practicing with me, maybe for a shorter period of time or prefer more of the movement-based practices and perhaps are less drawn to practices with me, you're more towards the Rajasic energy, okay? And those of you that really like the meditation days, the pranayama, the self-reflection, the themes and everything, the more sattvic. Okay, so we all have these all energies within us, and we acknowledge that they're all pulsing at one time, and we just happen to have maybe more of one than the other. And so what I try to do is vary things up for you a little bit within what I offer. Sometimes we're moving more, sometimes we're more still, sometimes we're more reflective, and sometimes we're not. So the three gunas, the three energies of the universe, or of prakriti, of the matter, are within us at all times. One's not better than the other. It's acknowledging what they are and using that awareness of ourselves to make choices to best serve ourselves based on our intention, using the awareness. So if I acknowledge I'm tending towards the more tamasic, the desire not to, or lack of desire, I should say, to do nothing, really lack of desire to do, or lack of desire to take action, then I'm going to want to find it within myself whether, find some sort of motivation or inspiration, find passion to take action. Take the left leg to the sky on the inhale. Step forward. Inhale, rise up, high lunge. Exhale, twist. We're back into the movement. Get into that Rajas fire. Hands to the front. Pull the bow. Again. Exhale. One more time. High lunge, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Moving the shoulders, internally rotate. Exhale, externally rotate. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Reverse warrior. Hands to the ground, exhale. Back heel up, step forward. Exhale, bow. Inhale to the sunrise. To the heart. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, chair pose. Take the left tricep, right thigh for a twist. Right palm on top. Pause, take a breath, self-reflective. So we start with that sattvic state. Because that sattva, that self-reflection, that observation allows us to take responsible action rather than just acting for the sake of acting. We take action based on our intention. We all want to take action in order to feel good. So we make sure our actions are in alignment with that, not just acting because that could cause injury, but rather acting for the purpose of making a shift, a transformation towards the better. Okay, so we take a breath, pull the belly back, turn it to the right. Take a breath, pull the belly back, turn it to the right. Take a breath. Pull the belly back to the right. Now pull your right shoulder back. Hold. Breathe into the sides of your ribs. Elongate the neck. Now use your back muscles and do a little bit of a back bend to open up the chest. And slow release. Bow forward, fingertips. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, step your left foot back. Pivot the back heel down and take your right hand to the inside of your right foot. I'm going to recommend fingertips for this pose today. Left hand to the hip. Okay, we take a breath. We start with that sattvic state. When we breathe and we feel the experience of movement inside of us, that observation of the energy flowing through us, observation and witnessing, all of this is sattvic. It's the more balanced equanimity that most of us love. We love that feeling. We hate when things are too rajasic outside of ourselves, but we have to learn to embrace the forces of nature, all of them, not just the times that feel like, everything is hunky-dory. Okay, press your right heel down. Turn the belly, turn the chest. Curl the heart open, lay back. Left hand to the sky. Two more. One more. Good. Release. The left hand's going to come to the ground. Right foot, heel toes to the right, back knee comes down. Left hand over to the left. We take our open back bend, chest curls towards the front of the yoga mat. Bottom shoulder, I recommend externally rotating it and retracting the scapula so that the bicep rotates out and the left shoulder blade comes towards the spine. Keeping that Bend the back knee for a thigh stretch. Hold here as you breathe. Try to press the low back and rib cage towards the front of the yoga mat. So you're in a back bend twist. I recommend pressing your foot back into your hand to activate the quads a little bit and pulling your back knee towards the front knee so your hips are lifted slightly so they're not just falling down, right? Too much tamas would be that we just kind of fall into the heaviness of the earth. When we practice Raja Yoga, we pull energy in, up, we activate the muscles. Now, it still creates, that Raja creates a balance of tamas in that it creates stability, which is great. But that stability allows us the mobility of the upper body. Stability of the lower body can give us that mobility for twists and back bends. When we feel stable, when that's in a balanced stability, we'll tend to enjoy movement more. All right, and then release. When it's more imbalanced stability, then it becomes lethargy or a feeling of not wanting to move or make changes. Step forward, please. Halfway lift. Exhale and bow forward. Bend the knees, chair pose. Take your right tricep, left thigh. Okay. Palms together. Move the knees more or less in line with each other and lay back in the chest slightly. You take a breath in. Pull your belly in and turn it to the left. Okay. Stay lifted in your torso, so don't collapse onto your leg by any means. Stay lifted up, so heart is near the thumbs. I take a breath in. Belly pulls in and to the left. Now, I'd like you to just kind of focus on your left knee. Press it gently out into your right elbow, just enough. As you press the knee out, you'll feel your outer hips engage. Now, from that, pull your left shoulder back and lay back. All right, soften. Fingertips to the ground. Inhale, half lift. Right foot steps back. Pivot the back heel down, preparing for side angle position. Right hand to the hip. Okay. Let's get that Rajas energy going. From the desire to feel good, from the desire to make changes and transform our habits and our patterns, we put that passion, we put that motivation into our effort, into our physical body. Pull your feet toward each other and press your left heel down. Turn your belly, turn your chest. Be present, be observant. Turn your heart, pull your right shoulder back. Acknowledge if too much, you don't want to be putting too much effort in that you would cause injury, but just enough that you're actually making a change. Okay, take your right hand to the sky. The part of us that witnesses and observes and is able to self-reflect as we take action, that's the sattvic side of ourselves. And we want to make sure that it's always there within us, even if Rajas is dominant, even if we're trying to drum up the Rajas to pull in that action, to make changes. Slowly unwind. Place the right knee down on the ground. Left foot goes out to the left. Turn the toes out. Right hand to the right. Take a breath. And we soften. That softness at first is a willingness to be observant, sattva, okay? And then we pull that rajas into the physical body. There's a lot of activity in the mind. If we can bring that energy into the physical body and put the activity there, we'll find a bit of balance over time. Okay, so we pull the knees toward each other, belly forward. Remember, the right shoulder spins out and the right shoulder blade comes towards the spine. Then heart forward. And we take our thigh stretch. Okay, in our thigh stretch, my suggestion is your chest still presses to the front of the yoga mat. So it is a back bend. It's not just a twist. And I also suggest your knees pull toward each other so you're not just falling into pose, but lifting. Downward flow is tamas. That would be good if we're, thinking about getting ready for bed. Some of you might be in that soon if you're over in Europe, so I apologize. But on the other hand, if we bring rajas into the body, the mind calms down. So we bring the rajas into the physical form, and then the mind relaxes anyway. So we find that bit of balance of sattva from our Raja Yoga. Okay, and release your thigh stretch. Let's step the right foot outside of the right hand. Come into Malasana squat pose. Now, here's what I'm going to have you do. You'll take your strap and see if you can pass it around to your right hand. So I'm going to show you from the back side. Okay. And then your right shoulder is going to get as low as possible. And you'll just pull the strap apart in this position. Okay. And, some of you might take the strap a little tighter if you could find it. Okay. I'll show you from the front side, but I'm not mirroring you. I'm on my right side. Okay. And I'd like you to focus on this top shoulder, retracting. Pull the shoulder blade towards the spine. And the bottom arm pushes the knee out as much as you can. Now, some of you are probably wondering, what if I can't get my hips down? That's okay. You're up here, wherever it might be, and that's totally fine. Don't worry about getting your hips down. It's harder for you, yes, to maintain the pose than it is for someone like me that can get all the way down, but that's actually a benefit. You'll get stronger that way. Okay, and then release. Switch sides. I'm going to step back to the front of the mat here. Pass the strap around. Do your best. Okay, might take a little finagling. And then wiggle your torso inside of your left knee. Pull the strap apart. Again, top shoulder blade's trying to retract to the best of its ability. Bottom shoulder is pressing the knee out. Okay, and release. Oops. Come to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and bow. Hands to the hips, arch the back and rise. Chair pose. Inhale, Utkatasana. Twist to the right. Slide your left leg back. Okay, find your steadiness into the earth. Feel that grounding energy, that tamas. We take a breath. Activate that rajas energy by pushing through the right heel, turning the belly to the right, lifting the heart up. Return to that tamasic energy. The tamasic energy is what grounds us. It keeps us kind of rooted and stable. Let yourself be in that, in the lower body, while at the same time, from the hips pressing down through your feet, turn the belly, turn the chest, and so you can employ some of that rajas energy. Full breath in. Turn the belly. One more time. Okay, come on out. Take both hands to the inside of your right foot. Turn the back heel down. Inhale, halfway lift with your chest. Keep your back inner thigh lifted. Bend the elbows and bow. Just do that a few times. Inhale, halfway lift. Keep your legs pulling toward each other as you exhale, bow. So your back inner thigh is lifted up to the sky, not falling down. Inhale. Exhale, bow. All right, come back to center. Back knee comes down this time. Hands on the front knee. Move your hips forward, lift your belly up. Pull the right side of your waistline back and take your left tricep to the right thigh. Right palm on top of left. Lay back with your right shoulder, the right side of your back. Move it back, but the underside, slide it underneath for a proper twist. Lean hips forward a little bit. Once you get balanced, in other words, feel the earth energy underneath you, let your legs become heavy to the earth for a moment so you feel that stability. Then gather strength from the earth, pull your knees toward each other, pull the belly in, and turn the chest. Pull your right shoulder back. All right, unwind. Both hands to the ground. Brilliant. Let's step back to down dog, actually. I should be feeling all funky since we did one-sided things. Observe it. The thing about Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva, these different energies, that all things matter. Prakriti, that is, all things that exist of matter. That means the physical body. The yogis even include the mind in that, which is crazy. But all things physical. That we tend as humans to reject one side of the polarity or the other. We favor one as good or bad. We have to recognize all things in nature that we know of require these three energies. And so it's about embracing them and knowing when it's appropriate and knowing when we've gone too far in one direction. Perhaps if we haven't taken action in a while, we've been more lethargic, been laying around. Maybe there's time and space for that, right? But then it becomes too much and it's time to get that Rajas energy going. Okay, the opposite's true. Maybe you're burning out from too much action. It's time to relax. Time to settle in and watch a movie. Okay, come to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and bow, and please grab your strap. Maybe take the loop a little bit tighter this round. And again, stretch your arms overhead. Now, too much of Rajas or Tamas, either way, without Sattva, that reflective place, that part of us that is involved in self-inquiry. It's the actions we take in the yoga practice are all basically in desire to move towards that sattvic state. Not because it is better, but it is because we tend not to be in there. Now, those of you that are more spiritually or intellectually oriented and contemplative, I should say, not just intellectually. Sometimes in society we think of intellect as mathematics and whatever, but more contemplative by nature. That's the more sattvic place. Those of you that are poets, perhaps, wordsmiths. Okay, release the hands. So for some of you, the Rajas and Tamas may not become as natural. Inhale, halfway lift. You might want to intellectualize the yoga practice instead of apply it to your physical body. Okay, take your right foot back. Nope, don't do that. Step forward. Missed a step. Inhale, half lift. And bow. Hands to the hips and rise. Okay. Now we move to the other side. My apologies. Chair pose. And take a twist. Left palm on top of right. Pull the belly back. Turn the chest. Look down at your left foot. Slide the right foot back. Okay. First, pause. We take a breath. The desire to be self-reflective within the experience we have. Employing all of the gunas. grounding and connecting to that earthly, stable energy, that unwavering, unmoving energy. Pressing through the front heel, now activating our muscles, which is in essence Rajas, because it promotes movement even if nothing changes. Okay, now pull the belly back, turn the heart, turn the chest. Pull the belly back, turn the chest. Pull the left shoulder back. Now, can you lay back in the upper body where your left shoulder is, but still push forward in the lower body? So the right rib cage sneaks underneath more as the top rib cage opens up more. All right, unwind. Slow, slow, slow. Pivot the back heel down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bend the elbows and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and bow. Walk the hands to the front of the yoga mat. Step back, down dog. Forward to plank. Chaturanga. Slide the hands wide. Inhale. Press the chest forward. Lift the heart. And release. All fours, hands and knees. Exhale, come to a seated position. Take the, sit onto your buttocks, that is. We'll take the right foot out in front. The strap. See if you can, this is tricky, see if you can pass it. So you go very wide, pass it around the backside, and then this bottom arm has to turn inward. Okay, so did you see that? Let me see if, yeah. Turn the thumb down, the strap will wrap around you so that the shoulder rolls forward. Okay, then you can bend the elbow. Now, it may be possible, let's actually just stay here. I'll just hold my tongue on that for a moment. Just open your chest away from the bent knee. Okay, and release. Switch sides. Cable. All right, so nice wide distance. Pull the strap apart. And again, the bottom arm internally rotates like we did in Warrior Two. Internally rotates, and then the elbow can bend. Let me see if I could just turn a little bit so I can show you that. So here you are. Internally rotates and bends. Keep the top shoulder blade towards the spine as well. Okay, and release. And well, I'm going to have you come up. I'm going to show you from the back side. We'll take your top arm. It's going to drop the strap behind you. Bottom arm comes underneath. And you simply pull the strap apart as you bring your chest more towards the ground. Now I'm going to show you from the front side for a second so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so you're in what's called Baddha Parsvakonasana, bound side angle. It's very similar to this pose you just did with the top strap, okay? Now, all you need to do is pull the strap apart to open up. Now, if you wanted to turn the pose, you have to really get you get connected. Right now, it's a very tamasic pose right now. It's very grounded, more earthy, more stable. So I would have to activate my muscles. I would press my front heel down, initiate a tucking of the tail slightly. Okay, and then as I would follow that, I'd pull the strap apart and open up the chest more. Then the last part here is just slowly moving into a back bend. Okay, so let's have you try that. I guess we'll do the right side first. So your right knee, I'm going to take a break. Bend your right leg, take your left arm with the strap, and you're just going to drop the left. Keep the hand on the strap and drop the strap behind you to grab with your right arm. You got to be below. See how the shoulder is below the knee, below my thigh? That's what allows me the mobility of the arms. If it's up here, it'll just push the shoulder forward like a seesaw, not very good on the shoulder. So you want to get nice and low. So you have to employ that tamas, that grounding, that relax, that release, the undoing is a very good tamasic word. Undoing or unraveling, just destructive more or less. Come undone, okay, come down. Now grab and pull the arms apart. Now once you've been undone, you can now start to recreate. So press your front heel down to turn the belly, turn the hips that is, then the belly. Now if you want to go the next step, you pull the strap apart to open your shoulders and then start to do a back bend, very slowly lengthening the heart to the front of the pose. All right, release. That's enough on one side for me. Done that twice. I'll do this side from the back just in case. Lost my receiver. Just to give you another viewpoint in case there's something in the arms or the shoulders that you're not seeing. Okay, so let's come down. The right arm passes the strap. First, we have to allow for the kind of the release, the heaviness of the upper body to get low in the pose so that the left shoulder is free. Then once it's free, you can pull the strap apart and maybe you just stay here in this humbled warrior with the arms bound. Or the next thing is to get really in that rajasic energy. Press the left heel, scoop the tail. That'll start to rotate the pelvis. Then the belly rotates into the twist. And then you do a back bend to complete the open twist, bound side angle. And then, once you've taken action in the pose and you've done all the effort, that's where that sattva starts to come in, when you just breathe and you be in the observation of what is. That sattvic state allows us to witness rajas and tamas as beautiful parts of nature, and that we are a part of that nature. Okay, release. Okay, now coming down. Let's take the right leg over the left. Now this tends to be a challenging posture. So we start with half lower to the fishes. If this is tough, just take your bottom leg out like this, okay? This is, we're not so much here for the hip opening today, so that's okay. You could also sit up on blankets. And start with initiating the low back bend. So arch by anterior tilt. And then turn the belly, turn the chest. Now, the goal for right now is like almost to do a humbled warrior, but towards the closed side. So you want to get as deep in the left armpit to knee connection as possible. See that? Now, this is a very hard step one. Some of you might be able to, if you get into that place, you might be able to move your arm through your leg here. Okay. Now, a lot of you won't be able to do that. So don't expect yourself to be able to, or that you should be able to. Okay. If you force it, too much rajas, okay, this is an easy place to get injured. So this is an example of where you want to be more sattvic, more into the observation of the experience. And you observe that part of your mind, maybe that is competitive, the part of your mind that gets jealous, that's all too much rajas energy. Okay. Whereas if you can just be in the observation of what is and be present with the effort that you're putting into it right now, which might not be bound. It might just be, it might be here, it might be here, whatever it might be, it just might be a twist. Okay. Then you employ the back bend, start to pull your right shoulder back. At some point, it may be possible, it may present itself that you can clasp your fingers behind your back. And then you want to try to, wherever you are, to get tall without losing the left armpit to right knee connection. Unwind. Gentle counter twist. Okay. Switching sides again. This bottom leg can be straight, top leg over. Here's the first variation of the pose, which might present enough challenges for you today. Now, the thing about Rajas energy is while it can be really powerful in taking action, it also tends towards jealousy or envy, I believe. I'm not sure if that's the appropriate word, but it looks at things and says like, I want that. It's grasping. It's a lot of grasping energy. So while it could be really, if it's in balance, it can really be something that motivates us and drives us to take action and make big changes. It can also drive us negatively towards attachments, towards achievements that may not be necessarily good for us. So when we get to postures like this, nothing happens if you do or don't get the full posture as it looks in my body. You don't become a better yogi if you grab it, and you don't become any less of a yogi if you don't. But the one that's ability to self-reflect on the experience, that is the advancement of yoga within your practice. To be self-reflective, if you catch yourself, it's not about not having jealousy. It's not about not being rajasic. It's about the ability to observe the rajas within us, because we all have it. The ability to catch ourselves when we move into maybe imbalanced states within any of these energies. Potentially some of you, and I actually don't know if it's going to be me today on this side. I have to change. And it's very slow. Like, see, if I'm feeling a little bit of resistance, so I'm not forceful, but still effortful, still present. Sometimes we give up too soon, and sometimes we push too much. The question is, for us to be present, can we observe? Can we be present to our choices, to the why behind our actions, so that we can make the better decisions for ourselves, to be more discerning. Start to unwind. Counter twist, very gentle. Let the spine come back. Okay. Come to lay on your back. I need to do something even, so let's do a happy baby. You could also do a bridge pose if you choose. I might do one of those just to get the back body active. Bridge pose tends to be more rajasic, so for some of you that may be a good thing if you tend towards the tamasic energy, then perhaps it'll keep you awake in your shavasana. On the other hand, if you tend towards that more rajasic energy where the mind is going a mile a minute in your shavasana, then you want to stay away from things like bridge pose. You want to keep things more like happy baby or just hugging the knees, more rounded positions. Will keep the mind or ground the mind into the body more. Take a resting pose of your choice. And shavasana is that sattvic energy, that reflective stillness, which is different than tamasic stillness. That tamasic is the unwillingness to move, whereas sattvic is the internal transcendent movement. And you can be here in this physical body, observing the vibrational energy, the buzzing all around your physical form. Come back to the awareness of the breath flowing through you. Begin to awake fingers and toes. Roll to your side. And come up to a seated position. Take a moment to observe the energy of your body. Feel the sensations of it. Notice the results of drumming up that Rajas energy for your yoga practice. Notice what is left behind now. Can you feel the buzzing of energy inside of you? While feeling grounded in the body. The ability to self-reflect, to self-inquire, to observe, to listen, is all sattva. Sattva guna is one of the great privileges of being a part of nature. Just like rajas and tamas, these are our privileges of being a part of nature. The ability to reflect upon these energies, sattva, the reflection, is what allows us to appreciate them and make choices based upon what is. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. And we bow inward. Thank you all so very much for stepping onto the yoga mat, employing that rajas within you to get into your body today, to activate muscles and to move. Have a really beautiful afternoon, namaste, evening, morning, wherever you are. All right, everyone, take care of yourselves. Thanks for tuning in. I apologize for the technical difficulties in the beginning. Hopefully we all got past that together. Looks like it's still playing on my end, thankfully. And hope to have you for the month of December for the handstand immersions. So the 12 classes, we'll be doing hips, heart, and handstand. Focused predominantly on giving you at least 1 to 3 techniques in handstand each practice. And then we'll also be doing hip openers and heart openers to make sure we maintain balance within our efforts of strengthening and developing our upper body. All right, everyone, take care of yourself.